Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Maria Speaks, and I am back with another video and pearls of wisdom for you on this morning. Happy Motivational Monday to you all out there on today. Today, my encouragement to you today is for you to make sure that you are positioned appropriately. Make sure that where you're positioned at in any area of your life, whatever that may look like for you as an individual, that it is appropriately aligned according to God's will. There's a word that we used to say years ago, we're still saying it, some of us, right up until this day, that I get in where I fit in. That is a huge misconception, because I may try to get in where I fit in, but that's not where God would have me to be at. We have to make sure that we are properly aligned according to God's will for our lives. Make sure that we are properly positioned in any area of our life, right? It may be a situation that God would allow us to be in that does not feel good to us, but it is good for us. So if we were to put ourselves in positions, right, where we get in, where we fit in, it will always be perfect and peachy, and most likely it will be with the people that we like, right? The people that we adore. But God will have you to be in circumstances and circles where you may not know the people, you may not know your surrounding, but that's where God will have you to be at. So we have to stop running from uncomfortable places and seasons in our life, because God has placed us in those places for a particular reason, so we may be shaped and molded into his righteousness, right? So no, I don't get in where I fit in. I get in where God will have me to be aligned at. I get in where my destiny is calling me to be. So we have to make sure that on this journey that we're on called life, that we're allowing the Father to position us properly, and that we're not positioning our own selves, right? Make sure that we have the right footing at the right place and the right time where we're at, right? I had a supervisor some time ago. He used to always say to me, he said, Maria, you cannot fit a square peg in a round hole. You cannot fit a square peg in a round hole, meaning that you cannot force something to be that's not supposed to be. So again, we don't get in where we fit in. We get in where God will have us to be at, because he may not always have us to be where we think that we should be at, but God knows best. So be encouraged on today to make sure that God is aligning your footing. Make sure that God has you placed in position in the right place, wherever that may look like for you as an individual, right? Because where he has you to be placed at may not be where he would have someone else to be placed at, and vice versa. But you have to make sure that God is ordering your steps, and that God is ensuring that you are aligned appropriately. Do not fight against God's will for your life because things are not comfortable, or things don't make sense to you, because it don't need to make sense to you, because you're not God. You're just a son and you're just a daughter. So ensure in this season, right, that you are aligned appropriately according to God's will for your life, and not according to how you think things should be. Because I'm telling you, we think things should be a whole lot of ways that's totally against the will of God for our lives. So on today, I want to encourage you to make sure that you are positioned appropriately according to the will of God for your individual life. Not according to what somebody else thinks you should do, not according to what you think you should do, but make sure that you're aligned appropriately, and make sure that you are positioned appropriately, and that your footing is where God will have it to be for you in your life. No one else can write your story. God has already written your story for you, right? He knows your beginning from your end. No one else can tell your story. God's already written it out for you. So it's time for you to make sure that you are positioned appropriately according to the will of God, not according to how you feel, not according to how you think it should be, not according to how your neighbors or how your sisters and brothers are, but according to how God has set your life up to be. So I want you today to do some reflection on your life. I want you on today, right, on this Motivational Monday, right, to begin to rethink some things over, to make sure that God, I want to make sure that I am aligned appropriately for you and your will for my life, not how I think things should be. Today, make sure your footing is right, because again, you cannot fit a round hole into a square peg. It's impossible. It will not work. So make sure your footing and your positioning is aligned with God's will for your life. Again, be blessed, be smart, be brave, and walk in wisdom for the rest of your days. God bless you. Take care.